Hey everyone, welcome back to another 180 Shift episode. My name is Elizabeth or Ellie.
And I am Tara.
So today, last week a lot of things happened. So today we're hopefully going to be discussing a few things that have been going on in the media. Everybody, I'm sure, knows, unless you've been living under a rock, that Charlie Kirk was assassinated last week. And the nation has been in mourning, and there has been a lot of craziness surrounding this whole entire issue. So, Tara, why don't you talk about what you've been hearing about that?
So yeah, first of all, just awful. I spoke about it at my church and they asked me to because I had launched a Turning Point chapter there and they know I'm so
Mhm.
involved with everything that I do. And, I've hosted booths at both of us have hosted booths, media booths at two
Right.
different Turning Point events. I've spoken to Charlie a handful of times, just very much
Hmm.
like meet and greet type stuff, but still he left an impact and his mission left a big impact in my life and a lot of my community in this world was because of Turning Point, was because of, just um young leaders creating young leaders. And I myself was blessed enough to create some young leader high schoolers in my church and inspire them to take over the high school chapter after kind of after I graduated from that. So, lot of impact, just completely devastating. And
Yep.
at my church, I just really said this was the spiritual war coming out materially on American soil. It was a war crime. The college students that had to witness that up close are going to be dealing with PTSD that's similar to watching a friend die on battlefield in a foreign country. It's going to be the same kind of level of damage. So, the United States is taking it seriously, thank God. I've heard reports of military leaders and, um, different people from that world gathering, getting together, looking over what went wrong. I was talking to one man who's, just very involved with the government security and that kind of stuff, and he was saying in their meeting, they just said, yeah, why wasn't there a drone? Like a drone above Charlie that literally like scans the vicinity 500 yards out over and over and over again, just scanning it over and over, and it'll pick up moving targets. And we have the technology, because we have this technology, it has been used on our enemies in other countries, but we have the technology to, if there's a suspicious moving object, like a human being with a sniper, the drone can actually track that person and follow them. And um, if there was an assassin who was setting up his shot and he looks up in the air and sees a security drone, he's probably going to run the other direction. So it was just a big, awful mistake. And I know that Charlie himself was always encouraged by his team. They told him to put up the plexiglass. They told him to do it indoors. They gave him all this advice for security purposes, and he said, "No, if I cannot have a conversation one-on-one with people outdoors in public, and talk about current issues and cultural debates, if I can't have a civil conversation face to face and show people respect, then it's already gotten really bad." So he was trying to prove to us that he could do that. And the fact that this happened just screams so loudly that, oh, I guess we can't do that. I guess we can't do that because if the message was clear, if we speak out, we're going to be publicly executed. I also believe that the whole entire thing completely mimicked what dictators do to instill communistic rule. Kim Jong-un will uh, hold public executions to scare kids into not committing crimes and not going against the regime. This was similar to that. They don't want us to speak out. They want us all to shut up as outspoken Christians, and we're just not going to do that. And another thing I want to talk about is our team 180 shift. We just got this thing where we will be screening Charlie's movie, the only movie he ever produced, called Identity Crisis. we will be screening Identity Crisis in Los Angeles. Daily Wire has released the rights to us so that we can share this film as a community event to Los Angeles. We really want you all to get involved with that. It will be at Harvest Rock Church. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of security there. Pastor Che is running for governor, and his security measures have jumped up. So we're going to pray over that event. This is going to be huge for 180 Shift to um, be screening this film, Identity Crisis, the only film produced by Charlie Kirk. So it's about trans identity issues, and we're just getting started trying to bounce back. And this really is the turning point moment that Charlie created. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big of a movement it was and how real it was until he's gone. I mean, I knew it was real. I saw it. I was part of it. I just didn't realize how awful it could feel to be an
Right.
outspoken Christian right now. I mean, this week I've been battling grief. I've been battling just feeling insignificant. I've been mourning Charlie. And then I think about his wife, Erica, and I'm sure all of you heard her speak. It was just like, oh, oh Lord, you have a faithful servant with this one. Um, Her bravery, her courage, where she looked at the camera and she just looked so angry. It's like, yeah, this is why Charlie chose this woman. She is a tiger. She is a fighter. She is going to stand up for his mission, and no one knew him and his mission better than she did. So thank God that we have her, and thank God that Turning Point is not going to die with Charlie. And it's like Donald Trump said in his speech, um, we are now bigger than you can ever imagine, the turning point in this country. And I'm so privileged to be a part of a young initiative like 180 Shift. And I was grateful to speak at my church. Another thing I said too is I mentioned about the gaslighting on social media. Being told that we are not allowed to mourn him, us being told that he's a Nazi, us being told that why didn't we mourn mass shooting victims and Hamas victims the same? And the thing is of course we mourn lives lost in tragedies. Of course we mourn people lost in tragedies. Of course we mourn people lost in tragedies. But do not let them diminish this moment. This is a horrible moment. Horrible moment. And the last thing I'll say before I pass it over to you is just the attack on family. The attack on family. Charlie and his wife, Erica, they had a traditional biblical marriage. They have kids. They are equally yoked, and they were equally yoked. And the message was clear that I mean, just look at the consequence. They literally ripped a man out of his household and murdered him and assassinated him. And it's just I think the impact of that and what it says about family and being a strong man and leading your family and to just knock him out like that, evil, just pure evil. So I've been in prayer. I've been taking my safety into account. I've been taking the safety of the people involved with Turning Point at my church into account. We have to be very careful right now. But God is good, and God is the one that ultimately will um, just be the one thing that we cling to, no matter what happens. So that's been my week, and I'm gonna pass it on to you now. I know.
Okay.
Not much of a back and forth today, I guess.
No,
Thank
that's all
you.
right.
Thank you.
But like, oh my goodness, you said so many good points, and I've had such an interesting week as well. But first, I just wanted to state an update for everybody that remember the first man who they arrested. Tara, you remember him? They thought they had the shooter immediately because he was acting really suspicious, saying, "I need a lawyer. I'm not going to say anything. I shot Charlie Kirk." However, it has come out in an affidavit by a police officer. Obviously, he wasn't found guilty of, or he isn't charged with the murder of Charlie Kirk. But it turns out that he had some bones in his closet. First off, the officer did state that he said himself, this is a statement from the police, said that he did it to draw attention from the real shooter, and that's a quote. So saying that he purposefully distracted the police, which I'm pretty sure is a crime, right? From the shooter. Why he would do that, I'm not sure. I can speculate all I want, but I'm not quite sure, right? And furthermore, he was found to have images, explicit images of children on his phone as well. So he's currently being charged with 4 felony counts of exploitation of a minor. And so that uncovered some interesting stuff. Like, who would have known that that guy would have done that? However, there's no evidence that they were working together with the shooter. So, just another update for all of y'all to simmer on, because this is just freshly announced like a couple hours ago. Um, okay, so my week has been crazy, Tara. Oh my goodness. When I first heard the news of Charlie Kirk, the first days, I was in shock, because we just saw him in Texas not too long ago. I still remember his face smiling as he was walking past me and going to a hallway. I remember seeing his face, and I just continually see that face over and over again and think, oh my goodness, he's gone now, right? And there's been a lot of thoughts over that. I didn't realize how much there's plenty of people that I've admired in the media who have passed, and I've never had the same reaction as I do now. Um, and there's people all over the internet saying the same thing, that they feel this heaviness, this weight that they've never felt before. And this is because this man was unjustly murdered and assassinated in front of our eyes. This man was doing nothing wrong. And I had some people who I know talk to me about Charlie Kirk, very big on the left side. They said, what happened to Charlie Kirk, that shouldn't have never happened. So we agreed there. That's great. I'm so glad many people are calling this out, except for the many people that I see on Instagram that I literally have screenshots of like videos and comments of saying how he deserved it. But I digress. These people that I was talking to were saying this shouldn't have happened. So I'm glad they admitted that. But immediately right after, they followed that up with, um, did you know that he was raised in a Christian and conservative household? His parents were the ones that, your guys's, whole entire stance on things is what created this guy, is basically what they were saying. They were saying because he grew up in a Christian conservative household, this is why he was driven to shoot him, which I quickly followed that up with, no, he was indoctrinated by the schools and was fed all this hate, toxic language that you guys always keep on spewing in the media, that has made people who are not mentally well take this information and take action, which is what happens. And what's very interesting is that not only have people been doing that, I have received multiple text messages from friends, from people who I know just as acquaintances. People have even been texting my parents saying, is Ellie all right? And I've had several people telling me, be careful. Are you okay? Please, they keep on telling me. There's one person who said, I'm not going to try to tell you what to do, but be careful. Like, and then, which is crazy, right? That we currently are living in a situation that regular people like us too, who still, we're not famous, right? However, we still have to take our safety in consideration now, right? So another point that I brought up to the person who was talking to me about how Charlie Kirk, um, this environment with the shooter that I was just mentioning earlier, that person, I said to them that Charlie Kirk could have been me, and maybe will be me one day. Like, Charlie Kirk was a man who stood up for many things that many other people believe in, right? Meaning that I could find myself in that exact same situation. So I was just trying to humanize that aspect for them, and to say, you saying that he basically, made this whole entire situation up for them, meaning you wish that upon me as well, right? So that was just an interesting week of just battling through those, working through emotions, grieving, and just wondering why somebody would do that, right? But in the end of it, as you said, Tara, God's grace is going to be shining through, and I know um, Erica is a strong woman. I met her before, and she is such an amazing woman. She is a woman of God, and I could see that when I talked to her. And she's so sweet. She took time to actually speak to me, ask me what I thought about the different things, and she just took the time to actually talk to me. Some people, as they got their lives, they got to go do the next thing. No, she took time to get to know me, and that's what I appreciated about this woman. And she talked about God, and I have no doubt that she's going to make it through it. Um, and you know what? After this, I've seen so many testimonies of people going online saying, I haven't been to church in 25 years. I haven't been to church in 10 years, but I'm going to church now. And that's the most beautiful thing that I see of it. God is using his death to show his redemption over all this, right? His grace and glory is being magnified through this event. And that's what gives me hope. And, Charlie didn't suffer, which is another thing that I know was God's hand. The way that Charlie went was instant, which I know is kind of weird to think about, but I think that that's another thing of God's hand being in this whole entire situation, saying, Charlie, I'm going to use you, but you're not going to have to suffer, and that's what I think is beautiful about it. But yeah, definitely is a turning point for all of us going forward. Yeah, something's changed, something has definitely really changed, Tara.
Yeah. Yes, it is, and it's weird. It's hasn't even been a week yet,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just so much happening in our country right now. Like you said, people going to church out of nowhere. And
Mm-hmm.
we posted that video of Charlie Sheen reacting to it, and he said two things that I just want to point out. One, murdered for having a different opinion. And two, nobody deserves this.
Right.
Charlie Sheen displayed the proper response of Charlie Kirk's death, no matter what side you're on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to two different vigils where we just lit candles and prayed and had pictures of Charlie. There's another one happening tonight. Notice they are so peaceful. They are prayer.
Right.
No one is like,
Looting stores.
no one is looting stores. No one wants to. We're just devastated. We're feeling pain. And I went to the Huntington Beach one. I interviewed a guy there. I gotta tell you, if you haven't been to one yet, oh my gosh, go to one of these vigils. They're probably gonna keep happening for like another week, and at least. And the one in Huntington Beach, it was just like people just going, Charlie, Charlie, Charlie. And then we saw the worldwide impact.
Right.
We've seen people gathering in England and oh my gosh, everywhere, Korea, and they're going, we
Mm-hmm.
are Charlie Kirk, we are Charlie Kirk. It's just like that thing of we are Charlie Kirk. And I felt called to do some tabling events at my local college. It is really tough though. Um, but I don't want to live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot do that. One, because it starts quickly. It's like, well, I shouldn't go to the grocery store. I shouldn't leave my house. And I shouldn't even be in my house. It's too dangerous. Like
Mm-hmm.
we are in a very, very dangerous world, and I think it's very important that we do not live in fear. We do not stop the mission. We do not stop sharing the gospel. We are literally told by God to go and disciple all the nations.
Right.
That,
That
like,
is true.
we're told to do this. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we're also told that we're going to be persecuted. That is
Yeah.
right off the bat. Yo, you're a Christian? Yeah, get ready. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be everybody's going to be against you. So, I think it's very important to cling to those truths right now
Mm-hmm.
and be present with each other. And just to give you a quick news thing, 37,000 uh, people have initiated chapters
Yeah.
from in counting,
Mm-hmm.
and there were but what like 10,000 before. So this is
Yeah.
turning point,
This is crazy.
and I know that we're gonna all just keep praying for Erica, her little
Mm-hmm.
babies,
Yep.
and their community. We're gonna pray for Turning Point, the organization, and that just God puts the right people, passes the baton to them, and they just understand the mission to a core, and they do stuff like you said, Ellie. They sit down and they get to know us.
Right. And I have one more thing before we go. I know we're running out of time, but just really quickly, my professor on last Thursday um, had it was 9/11, right? So it was the day after Charlie had passed, and my professor from poli sci was speaking about 9/11, and he was asking everybody in the audience, "Who was your 9/11? What was your 9/11 day? What was the day that everything changed and the world stopped?" One of the students is from a different country, in a war-torn country, so he said, like, that's my life and I've lived that like that. Most students said COVID. However, in my mind, I was thinking, and I was simmering on this thought as they were talking. I didn't say this out loud, but I was just really, really thinking, because I was just blown away and shocked by what had happened the previous day. But I just kept thinking, Charlie Kirk, that was my 9/11. That's my 9/11 is Charlie Kirk and what happened that day. And I think that also is for a lot of other people. I think that was the impact of Charlie Kirk. And I think of all the other great people like Martin Luther King Jr., right? And the impact that he had on people, right? And I think Charlie Kirk had the same impact as well. I think that's a crazy statement to make, but I think he had that impact because, like as you were saying, the entire world was grieving. I mean, you don't see that very often. You don't see people from other countries. 3 million people came out in England um, because they were inspired by Charlie Kirk. That is unprecedented numbers. That right there, you know, um, crazy, crazy, crazy. But I just want to leave you guys with that. That was just something else that came to mind while you were talking, Tara. But yeah.
Yeah, and just, to kind of wrap up, another thing that I just saw was James O'Keefe sent out a thing that said he will provide a hidden camera to you to expose what you're doing, what's happening in your college. If you're witnessing anything that just is just that woke ideology or just the
Mm-hmm.
suppression of free speech or just even this mocking of Charlie, James O'Keefe is going to provide little hidden cameras to college
Wow.
students. So the movement is getting stronger, and it was like losing MLK, because if you think about what MLK stood for, he stood off this biblical idea that was we are all created equal under God. We are all created equal under God. And what Charlie really, I think, was his foundation was um speaking biblical truth in a way where he was like what would you say to this? Like we need to talk to each other, and we need to be able to have a civil
Right.
conversation. It like what would you
It
call
was a
that?
respect for humankind, knowing that we're all are made in God's image. So I think that that's a connecting factor right there.
Yeah, we are all made in God's image, exactly. And he was like a peaceful guy. Like the most active thing he did was just going out there and helping get these ballots for Trump. And that was like that wasn't violent. He didn't break the law. There was nothing crazy about it. He was just he organized it, and he organized this mission. And so absolutely, we did lose a hero. And people, by the way, people reacted the same way after MLK died. Some people went, well, he deserved it because blah blah blah, and they're just like, no, you're racist. But the thing is at the end of the day, um, it's like his story, history. Like the survivors and the decent people, they will live to tell. And the racists, they eventually die out. And they get so quiet that you know, you just ignore, like at that point it's just like go home, bro. Like get out of here if you're going to be like that. And I think we're going to see that too with with people who are we're going to continue seeing that. We're literally seeing people get fired no matter where they work for mocking Charlie in any way or his death. And that's exactly the attitude that we need to have is, you know what, I'm just going to not tolerate that because that's just evil. It wouldn't be called racism in this case as it would with MLK. I think it comes from the same place that racism comes from though, evil. It just comes from this I don't know what the heck it is. It's like the woke mind virus. But anyway, I digress and I just wanted to um yeah, just throw that thing out there about different things that are happening and yeah, AmFest, it's gonna probably be huge.
Yeah,
I hope that yeah.
I definitely know that that is going to be sold out this year.
Hmm.
I know that they had tickets coming out, at the last moment, but I don't know about this year. I am definitely not sure about this year. I'm sure that the lineup's going to be crazy. There's going to be so many people there in honor of Charlie, and I'm excited to see what happens
Yeah. And
and
the
what their plans
security. I
are.
bet the
Oh,
security
security
is
has
gonna be
always been crazy.
it's always been crazy. Yeah.
It's always been crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump and Melania show up this time around.
Maybe.
Just to show respect to it. Like Erica. I wouldn't be surprised. Or like if they I know that Trump is going to the memorial. He's gonna
He
be
is.
there
Yes, he's going to be
on Sunday,
presenting
so
um the medal of my goodness, I'm blanking right now.
honor?
Yes, honor.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Medal of Honor. Okay, no
My
problem. I
brain
was like,
my
am I
brain
right?
was yeah, no, you're correct. I'm just
No,
on bad
yeah.
habits of sleep right
No,
now.
it's just
Sorry.
been crazy. It's been crazy. But
Yeah, I know I
yeah.
could talk. I have so many
We
thoughts
have
about
so
it,
many things
guys.
to say. We just
So
wanted
many different things to
to
say.
check in with everyone. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna post my my speech too that I did at the church. I spoke for maybe like 5 minutes. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna share that too.
Awesome. So
Um,
glad to see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway, okay.
Well,
All right.
guys,
Bye
we're gonna
everyone.
yeah, bye and stay tuned for everything else that we're doing. We're going to be still going to many events, as the Lord says, do not fear. He's got everything in control, and where the Lord leads us, I will gladly go. And Tara will. I'm speaking for both of us. We will both go.
Yes.
Um,
180 will be there. Yes.
yes. Okay.
Amen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notifications, and visit our website if you'd like to at 180shift.org.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll stop.
Yes.